So my memoir is called Trailblazer, Lighting the Path for Transgender Equality in Corporate America. You may not know that before 1997, when a transgender woman transitioned, she was expected to quit her job, learn how to pass, get her surgery, move to another city, and take a job as a secretary. It was a terrible waste of resources and energy. And that was because people were routinely getting fired from their jobs for being transgender. So the first Fortune 500 company to change that was in 1997. Lucent Technologies added gender identity, characteristics, or expression to their non-discrimination policy, which promised that they would not discriminate against transgender people. And that was the first time any Fortune 500 company had added trans-inclusive language to their non-discrimination policy. And I was the instigator that got that policy pushed through. So my book tells the story of myself as a transgender activist, starting with Lucent's policy and springing forth to other companies and other trans-inclusive policies like gender-affirming care on their medical plans. So over my lifetime, I've told my personal story as part of transgender workshops many, many times. And over 25 years, my story's gotten longer and longer. And I've come to realize that the best part, the most important part of the workshop for the audience was my personal story. So I realized once I'm gone, that's going to go away. It's important to have it written down. So I wrote a memoir. It's called Trailblazer, Lighting the Path for Transgender Equality in Corporate America. And that is my personal story as a transgender woman and as a transgender activist. And people tell me that it's a great read because it's my personal story. Not so much about writing, but I have had people reach out to me after reading Trailblazer, and they have a trans person in their family. You know, their grandchild is trans, or they know someone who's trans, and they found my book meaningful, and it helped them understand that person in their life, and they had their loved one read the book as well. So it's really very gratifying for people to reach out that have gone through the same experience or are going through an experience like this and tell me how much my memoir meant to them. That's a wonderful feeling. I have made history in a couple of different domains. One is the transgender activism in the corporations, and the other is as a technical person. When I was a grad student at UC Berkeley from 1978 to 81, I was involved with Berkeley Unix, which from that sprung the internet and Sun Microsystems and Cisco Systems and many things. And while I was there, I made my own contributions to the Berkeley text editor, I created the first email attachments. I led an early social media network called Usenet and an early email network called UECP. So I've had a lot of technical history as well. And I'm currently writing a memoir about my life from a technical point of view, starting with the first Model 33 teletype that I used in 1969, all the way through my involvement with Usenet and UUCP. And that's a very different book with a very different audience because only technical people are going to want to read that. So it's very specific. But in the course of writing Trailblazer and talking with people, talking with editors and reviewers, I've met people who are both technical and seriously into LGBT issues. And they've told me that they're very interested in both books and given me feedback about what sorts of things they want to know more about and what sorts of things they want to know less about. So it's very encouraging to hear that there are people interested in my second memoir, which is tentatively called Internet Pioneer. I joined writers groups, and they're incredibly valuable. San Diego has some wonderful writers groups. The International Memoir Writers Association is headquartered here in San Diego. It's a wonderful group. I learned so much from talking with people there and attending the various meetings and topics that they spoke about. I learned a great deal of craft. Another wonderful group in San Diego is the San Diego Writers and Editors Guild, SDWEG. And they are fabulous about all kinds of books, not just memoirs. There's a lot of nuts and bolts craft in there, not just how to write, but how to get published, how to advertise, how to find an agent, whether to self-publish, how to use various online tools. There's just a wealth of knowledge and information in those groups. And I would definitely recommend that aspiring writers get connected to writers groups such as the International Memoir Writers Association and the San Diego Writers and Editors Guild. You'll be really happy that you did. Well, the thing that I didn't get when I was starting out is this really basic concept that every writer knows called show, don't tell. When I first wrote, I told, and I didn't know that that was wrong. And all my narrative was terrible because it was all tell. And with the help of good editors and good coaches, I've learned to write so that, in effect, the camera can see it, which is really important and makes for much better writing. It was a game changer for me. Go to book fairs. The book fairs, their KPBS just had their annual book fair at the University of San Diego. There are writers' festivals in town. They're in fact, especially the writers' festivals, because those will get you talking to people and hooked into the process. Or go to the website, Google San Diego Writers and Editors Guild or International Memoir Writers Association. You can connect up with their websites. They both have monthly meetings and memberships you can join. So you can get connected in many ways. Google is your friend. It's been 3 years, almost 3 years, so it's had a good run and it's kind of trickling down now, but it's still very topical and very people are very interested when they hear about it. Um, in order to get published, there really are choices. You can self-publish, you can traditional publish, you can go to a vanity press. Don't go to a vanity press, whatever you do, they'll just take your money. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. If they want you paying five figures just to publish your book, it's a vanity press. Um, I was going into it thinking I would need to find an agent and get a traditional publisher. But what I found out from talking to other people is that that's almost impossible to do. Getting an agent is really hard, and then having your agent find a traditional publisher is really hard. And if you succeed at both of those, then the publisher has full rights to your book and full control of the book, and you get a small royalty on every book that is sold. But if you self-publish, you control the book and you get a higher amount of royalties. And you would think that by going with a traditional publisher, they would handle all the marketing for you, and it doesn't work that way. You still have to do all the marketing yourself. So the general feeling of the group is that traditional publishing doesn't really have any advantages and it has a lot of disadvantages. And if you self-publish, then you've got full control and you can do it yourself. There's still plenty of resources out there to help you self-publish and have a quality book as opposed to just scribbling something down and putting it on Amazon. So definitely spend the money to, get a good editor and a good cover designer, internal design, all those kinds of things. And, maybe even a writing coach to help you through the process, or joining a writing group where yes, there are classes offered at San Diego Writers Inc. specifically on writing memoir. And those are well worthwhile. There are some very good websites out there that will connect you with reasonably priced editors. I used folks that I found on reedsy.com, reedsy.com, and I also have a personal friend, Janet Williams, who is an excellent editor, and she did a large part of the editing on Trailblazer. She did a great job on it.